Ladies and gentlemen, please take your positions and be seated, please.
Let me, first of all, express my profound appreciation to you, Mr. President, and all of your members, and also to members of the Fourth Estate of the Realm for always responding promptly to our invitation whenever the need arises. I sincerely appreciate you. I appreciate the fact that you appreciate our little token of training the news and crime reporters some time ago on the Transcorp. That is just a token you can offer. And I want to assure you that it is going to be an annual basis. Whether I'm in government or outside the seat of power. That is another way of contributing to our nation or nation building. I will gladly continue to do that. My dear brothers, it always gladdens my heart to always sit down and interact with all of you. I think my Commissioner for Information almost speaks all of my mind. I am an accountant, a professional accountant, and we speak in numbers. So I wouldn't talk much. I will not speak English. We are not trained to be speaking English. That is why I had lawyers and learned ones. There are senior advocates and junior advocates all around me to be speaking the English. But I will attempt to just put a few words across to all of us. Why am I always happy to have interaction with you? Like my Commissioner for Information just said, that you are the gatekeepers. It is often said that you are who you say you are. If you say you are a good person, on the face value, you'll be taken to be a good person until you prove otherwise. So, we looked at ourselves and our environment. Nigeria is either underreported in terms of our advancements, progress, and successes, or we are over-reporting and hyping the negatives. So it is necessary for us to understand that this country, and indeed Kogi State, is all we have. As a citizen of Kogi State, I don't have any other state other than mine, and I love my state so much. And then, of course, as a Nigerian, there is no any other country I feel is worthy enough to be claimed my country other than Nigeria. Therefore, whatever happened here in Nigeria, I am deeply concerned. And hence, this frequent or periodic interaction that you often have. And I sincerely appreciate you for that. Ever since we've been having this kind of interaction, to a very large extent, there has been fair reportage of events, both in Kogi State and that of Nigeria. I thank you so much. You touched on the issue of security and crime fighting in Kogi State. Well, it is often said that security or fight against crimes and criminalities It's not just business of the government or law enforcement agencies alone. It is the business of each and every one of us. One thing with me, my dear brothers, when I listen to words of wisdom, I ensure it sinks into me, and immediately, not later, not after, I start to practice it. So we'll be hearing this issue of security is a business of all of us. It's not only crime fighters or police alone. As God will have it, I found myself today in a position where I should be able to put those words into practice. Very simple. I ensure that every citizen of Kogi State take part in the fight against crimes and criminalities. Everybody, from your very home to the community, to the local government, to constituency, to the senatorial district, and across the state. Every citizen of Kogi State are potential crime fighters. So when each and every one of us take it as our business, so the job becomes easier. So what we do simply is to assist law enforcement agencies in our various ways. Where it is lacking in the past was in the area of cooperation, collaboration, and intelligence sharing. We ensure that we allow our citizens to understand the basics of fighting crimes and criminality. We ensure that all the law enforcement agencies we have on ground, or we met on ground, are responsible enough and up to their responsibilities, and they are carrying out their jobs. We ensure that as a government, we open up our doors to all citizens of the state to report every incident before it happened and or after it happened. So, I, as a captain of the ship, I ensure that I don't rest on my oars. I put all the law enforcement agencies, the citizens, on their toes to ensure that they do their job. We're doing our job, and hence the result we are getting today in Kogi State. It is not yet uhuru. We have not recorded zero crime rate, but that is our target. To a very large extent, Kogi, I maintain, is still safer than any other state in the country today. My dear brothers, aside fighting crimes and criminalities of all forms, what we try to do is to ensure that systematically we reduce and put a halt to the issue of corruption in the state. We did that scientifically without political witch hunts. When we came on board, we sat down and evaluated what happened in the past before our assumption of office. My dear brothers, I was elected to come and serve, utilize the available resources, financially, materially, and in terms of human. The mix of it to be able to serve the people of the state and of course the country to the best of our ability. I quickly zero down, bend down, hit the ground, and started running. I I am very much aware of a lot of counsels by our elders in the past that if you want to move forward and you are looking backward, you will crash. If you have to pause to look at the back, you will lose mileage. So, I ensure that I drew the line and started what I met on ground. I'm sure you are aware of the very difficult civil service reform and several other of our thematic areas. We did that and ensured that we made it very difficult for any unintended beneficiaries to participate and take our resources. We ensure that our procurement process is open and scientific enough that nobody should be able to circumvent the system. But for me to be able to do all of the reforms I had to ensure that I hire eggheads around me to carry out this job. More than 90% of those that are serving in Kogi State today are professionals in their various fields. They are experts in their various fields. And they are excellent in their various fields. And this is why we continue to come first upon first, or ranking so high by various rating bodies, both locally and internationally. I'm sure you are aware, back to back, how Kogi State was rated as first in terms of financial, fiscal transparency and accountability program of the World Bank, and several others. My dear brothers, we don't hesitate to correct ourselves if anything is going wrong, because nobody is an island of himself and nobody can know it all. Sometimes we just listen to even street discussion and we bring it to the highest decision-making body of the state, and we ensure that we quickly address whatever is the burning issue. That is how responsive our government is. So, we try to reduce corruption to the barest minimum. We equally, as much as possible, to improve our economy. First, blocking and sealing all the loopholes as much as we can identify. And that was why we were able to jack up our internally generated revenue from a paltry sum of about 250 to 300 up to over 1.7 billion before the advent of the glorified malaria. So, but thank God, I think we're climbing again. So we try as much as possible, not only block that, to expand our net of generating revenue. Then we try as much as possible to be prudent, and prioritize our expenditures by ensuring that whatever we're going to do in any fiscal year is contained in our budget, passed by the State House of Assembly, and we tried as much as possible to implement the budget within the available resources. And immediately we are leaving that particular year into another fiscal year, we publish our financials. That, dear brothers, citizens, this is what we proposed to do. This is how much we were able to raise. And this is how we spent it. If 1 naira is made to buy this phone, and the phone is not there, the 1 naira must remain in the bank. If the 1 naira is not in the bank, the phone must be there. If there's no 1 naira and there's no phone, then heads must roll. Aside the fact that I have professionals and very passionate team, very dedicated team, I rise up to supervise them at all times. And in most cases, they least expect me coming. I take them unawares. And then we're having all the successes and progress we're having today in terms of projects, policies and programs implementation in Kogi State. And we try, because we know that we're not an island of ourselves, we try to collaborate with our other brothers, other federating units. Whatever we don't know, we don't hesitate to go and learn from them. And at the same time, we're always ready to share our experiences with others. And then, brothers, you talked of the Chinese contractor who tried to do shabby work in Kogi State. Like we said earlier, we tried as much as possible that the little resources we were getting or generating or receiving, we utilize it judiciously. We don't carry out all of our projects in Kogi State are world-class, of world-class standard or quality. In fact, we price contract in Kogi State as if we are pricing tomato in the market. As if you are buying Maggi in the market. That is how we sacrifice. We go to that extent. We don't waste. We don't encourage wastes. If you come to Kogi State and you increase or inflate prices for us, we have a way of determining it. So, why would you come and we say we desire to renovate our tertiary health care system, especially the specialist hospital? You came up with a design, passed through the system, and then we agreed. I want to believe it passed through the process. In any case, I think all those that have hands in it will have themselves to be blamed. And then what we are witnessing is completely different from what is on paper. I will not tolerate it. Whatever happens, we are going to make sure the public knows about it. That is how transparent it is. It is not a fluke. Go and I am not saying every project that is being done, however quality the standard, it is not made from heaven. There is provision for failure or one defect or the other, but not deliberate act of sabotage. We will not tolerate it. So, and healthcare delivery system is one of our thematic areas. I'm sure you know that we don't have any case of coronavirus in Kogi State. And that is the reality. Because aside the delivery, what we're doing in health, we sensitize our people. And then somebody who will come from China, and this coronavirus emanating from China, I don't know whether he wants to import coronavirus into Kogi State by doing that kind of shabby work. Our people are happy with us that we have blocked coronavirus from entering Kogi State. And then somebody is trying to prepare ground for it to come. We will not tolerate that. There are several Chinese companies that are doing wonderfully well in Kogi State. I'm not condemning Chinese company. I'm not condemning the Chinese firm. No. But that particular contractor is not representing China the best way he should. Majority of all the quality jobs we have today in Kogi State are done by Chinese or Chinese company, in addition to our local content. When they are doing work, we ensure that we supervise and ensure that according to specification, they put the job on ground. So, my dear brother, that is just what happened. And I will be doing more of that in the days to come. My brothers, I will be so glad to attend the event that is coming up. And let's have a very wonderful and engaging, time for ourselves. I want to assure you that my administration is all about the people. And as much as possible, we'll continue to muster political will to be fair, to be just, and to be equitable. And that's what we've been doing in Kogi State, and there is this cohesion, unity, and togetherness. Today in Kogi State, the era of divisions along ethnic line, along religious line, or class difference does not exist again. That is our own legacy that we want to be remembered for in Kogi State. And I pray and wish that Nigeria will have all of these very soon so that we can live together as one indivisible entity. Thank you and God bless you. Number one, I came into office at the age of 40. And I'm sure you understand that is answer number one. I came into office at the age of 40. God knows why he made it that way. That's number one. Number two, we appreciate the contributions and sacrifices of our past leaders, elders, and fathers. We didn't jettison them. There were a few of them in my administration, and we constituted Elders Advisory Council. We know surely that the energy that this office requires is far beyond some of these our elders again. We really want to get things done. We have to hire those that have the energy. But the experience to get it done, we must always have our elders to keep giving us the advice. And that's why we didn't get to send them. We put the strong, the energetic, and the forceful ones ahead to bulldoze and grade and make it smooth. With the experience to do it where we are lacking, we try to compare notes with our elders from the Elders Advisory Council, and hence the result we are having today in Kogi State. Not too young to run. Bill was signed into law in the year 2018, I want to believe. And I became governor in the year 2016. I was sworn into office in the year 2016. So from day one, I got my priority straight. I wasn't waiting to be called to the table when I know that my money is part of the money that was used in preparing the broth. I had to take, not just sitting on the table, but sometimes, in fact, in that particular case, I sat at the head of the table. And then God blessed the movement. You see, let me tell you, nobody, like our elders have always said, nobody is going to call you and say, here is power, take. You must work for it. Nobody is going to say, this is the right thing, do it. You must sit down, make research, discover who you are, your capacity, your ability, what is your stuff is made of, and then put it to practice, legitimately, rightly. Then put that aside. I began to prepare for the office of governor since 2005. No, precisely 2007, after the general election. I was getting myself prepared and waiting for the opportunity to present itself. So some level of my preparedness met opportunity. And then I waited for no one. Rather, I strike. And then God completed the rest. So I will urge each and every one of us to be prepared at all times. We should be prepared for whatever we want to do. Take much of your time to prepare and little time to execute. Rather than using little time to prepare and the whole of your time to execute and you achieve nothing. So, the not too young run bill that was signed into law graciously by President Muhammadu Buhari only substantiates or buttress what I had long demonstrated. To run, act, trailed us behind. We are taking the lead. And the question of whether our elders have failed, they have tried their best. You can't do more than your capacity. You can't. That is natural. In sciences, there's what we call normal curve. Normal curve. When you rise, if you plot the x and y axis together, you see the normal curve. The time to rise, to start to rise, you get to the peak, and then you must decline. That is the natural, you must respect it. So our elders have really done well. At least they found this country. At least they fought for the unity of this country. At least some of the social amenities and infrastructures we have seen today, or some of the policies, we inherited it from them. Even if they are obsolete or outdated, that is the best they could put on ground then. So it is now incumbent on us, the younger generation, to take the country, not to receive the country, but take the country from where it is today to the next level. If you sit idle by and I am still expecting my late mother to come and cook, to go to the kitchen and prepare meal for me today, probably I would have even died long before she passed on. So if we are sitting down waiting, that until you are called upon to the table, you're simply wasting your time. To my brother Mohammed, you're talking of, you still refer back, took me back to the 2023 sessional agitation. There is a presidency, whether rotation or no rotation. Well, to me, I think this will equally answer a part of the question of Ali Emali. At all times, I always envision. I don't need a soothsayer to tell me. When you judge the pulse of a nation, except you are less concerned, you should be able to predict to a reasonable degree what is likely to happen. And that I always apply in my daily judgment. A lot of people are agitating, both the South and the North, agitating that power should come to them. They are right, because it's within their constitutional right to say, I want to be, or we should be. That is very okay. But let me quickly touch on this. That one of the greatest monsters we are confronted with today is issue of ethnicity in this country. How can we be saying ethnicity is one of our bane of development, and then we are championing it at a larger cause? That is where I look at it. And if you put that aside, you want president to come to area, and most of these areas that are agitating for it have been president at one time or the other. And the question is, how did the presidency in your area benefit you and eradicate either insecurity, poverty, and what have you? Poverty does not know tribe. Insecurity does not know the region or the session. Underdevelopment does not know the region or the session. Put that aside. At all times, we always refer to world best practices. We will say that when it suits us. But we want to pursue some narrow and very myopic, selfish interests. We will drop world best practice or practices and begin to talk of ethnic sentiment. In fact, we jettison constitutionality. That is the ground norm of this country, and we begin to champion ethnicity. And sometimes some of those that champion some of those things, you ask them, even in their local community, how have they put some of these things to practice? There are some local arrangements in some local government or in some states where one session dominates all through. And then at national stage, because either you are losing relevance and you are seeking popularity, you want your people to still believe that you are fighting for their cause. That is the only thing you can I think we should be wise. Look, Nigeria today is largely divided along ethnic or sectional line. Nigeria is largely divided along religious line, and there is insecurity. Despite all the efforts of Mr. President, Baba is trying very well. What we need today is unity. What we need today is security. What we need today is economic prosperity. And nobody will care where you come from. All of the ethnic groups in Nigeria today are sometimes, if you go to Europe, you see them behaving as brothers and sisters. And in fact, they are brothers and sisters. But the moment they get to any airport coming to Nigeria and they just land in any part of the country, then that's when you begin to know that this one is a Yoruba man, this one is an Hausa man, this one is Igbo man. That's when you begin to know that this one is a Muslim or a Christian. I think sometimes when some of us, the elite, are talking, we should listen very well and process it before we take it to heart. We say democracy is enough, it's a game of number. Let the number speak. That is what is in the Constitution. And let me urge our brothers, members of the Fourth Estate of the Realm. You see, you're the gatekeeper. Thank God my commissioner said it just now. You are the gatekeepers. You set the agenda. You set the tone. Please, I said this long ago at Transcorp. I expected that by now I should be seeing things happening. Let me repeat it again. Please, by now you should have checklists. Very fair and objective checklists of who should be the true president of this country. When I speak for the North, and you speak for the South, I speak for the Igbos, you speak for the Hausas, you speak for the Yorubas. I speak for the Ibiras, you speak for the Igalas. Who speak for Nigeria? And that is why we are encouraging corruption, nepotism, insecurity, disunity in this country. Let's not wait till later. Later is dangerous. Waiting to take action later is dangerous. It might be too late. Set the agenda now. Promote it in the media. Don't allow us to take lead as politicians. But let me tell you, more than 90%, let me not go too far. Don't allow somebody to throw himself up and say what he is not. Let nobody come who does not believe in Nigeria, rather believe in regionalism. Come and tell you that they believe in Nigeria and you believe him. Listen to him and watch his past antecedents. We need a true Nigerian who will unify this country, who fights insecurity head on. We have our records. Go into it. However it is, a tortoise cannot change his shell. Or a leopard cannot, or tiger cannot change the skin. It's not possible, no matter how. You can go to Wikipedia or WikiLeaks or whatever it is to change it. But we know that this one is edited. I'm not referring to anybody, please. You understand? We have our records. Let's get serious and drop this sentiment. Nigeria is like a plane that is flying or that is on the tarmac. And it needs to take off. Full of passengers, over 200 million passengers are on board. We need somebody to fly the plane safely from one destination to another. And you are asking of which tribe to come and pilot it. You are asking of the religion to pilot it. You are asking of whether an old man should come and pilot or a young man should come and pilot it. We want the best pilot who will fly the flight, however the turbulence, stabilize the plane, and land it safely. This is what we need at this stage. Let the truth be told at all times, however bitter. I will never change from who I am. That is my own color too. So, gentlemen of the press, you are the one to set the ball rolling. If you allow us to continue to drive it, may God save this country. Amen. Anyway, you can't expect to eat an egg without breaking, eat an omelette without breaking the egg. Let's break the egg so that we can eat omelette. If you don't do that and you are waiting for who will pay the media today, carry negative news about this one, carry negative news about that one, oh, bring the picture of EFCC and bring Governor Abelo so that he will be seen to be corrupt. you are simply wasting your time. Let us not wait till we are all consumed. If you are waiting for Mr. President to tell us what to do, Mr. President is doing his best. He can't do it all. He is just one out of over 200 million Nigerians. If you are waiting for one politician to come and decide your fate, then you are doomed. If you are waiting for a Messiah from heaven, an angel to come from heaven, is a lie. It must be we in this country that must save this country. If we are waiting for Europe, America, Asia, Middle East to tell us what to do in this country, then we are doomed. We have qualified engineers, we have qualified technocrats, we have passionate and patriotic Nigerians. Not anybody who created or was part of the problem of this country who claimed to come and save this country. What did you do before? It is now that you want to come and save this country. We shouldn't listen to them. I am not saying that somebody cannot repent. But when somebody repents twice, 3 times, almost multiple times, and he says you continue to repent, please forgive me. Please beware. So please set the tone, set the ball rolling, set the checklist, prepare it, and begin to tick. Time is running. And then you know who will tick the boxes and who deserve to serve this country better. The reality is contained in our website, Kogi State website, or kogipedia.net. The whole detail is there. We didn't hide anything, including bank statement is there, including payrolls. The utilization in 2019 as we received it is contained there. You just make your research, and then if you call any worker who say that he did not receive that money, then you can put it online or put it to the media. I want to believe that it's a misplaced priority to be chasing shadows when there is none in that particular area. I think let's just jettison it and be focused on the more serious matters ahead of us. My brother Ali M. Ali, the Northern Resolutions on 2023 presidency. Yes, they have simply said that that is not unconstitutional. Let's follow what the Constitution says. The Constitution guarantees every citizen of this country to aspire for any position so long as you qualify. That is number 1. 2, before you are declared as winner of any position whatsoever, if you meet the criteria or all the parameters, if you meet it, you are declared a winner. That is simply the position of the northern governors. So I don't think there is ambiguity in that particular position. I have said it before. Somebody is saying, "Oh, zoning, your zoning position. If you zone, if they zone a presidency to the south, GYB, you won't be able to contest again. If they zone it to, or they zone the National Party chairmanship to North Central, GYB cannot contest again." I simply say, look, my own direct brother, Professor Ohiani, who brought me up, who is more of my father, same mother, if he is the chairman of our party today, he can't stop me from contesting. That is his right. That is number 1. Number 2, the Constitution of the Federal, it will amount to breach of the Constitution to deprive anybody from contesting. Why don't you simply test your popularity instead of bringing some mundane issues together? that is, don't go, if you want to fight, fight. You want to challenge, you want to box, let's get to the ring and slug it out. So my dear brother, I don't think this they simply brought out to Nigerians what the Constitution says. That's what my northern counterpart brought out. And I don't think there's anything wrong in that. And then there's equally nothing wrong in my brothers from my counterparts from the south to say, we want to be the one to produce the next president. What is wrong in asking? There's nothing wrong in asking. All it requires is build alliance, consensus, agreement, understanding. And then once that is built, then arrangement can be worked out on that basis. But power is not a must. Because first, we have forgotten that power is in the hand of God Almighty. And he gives it to whoever he wills, and take it away from whoever he wills. So why are we playing God in this game? Who even know who will last till 2023? Nobody knows. So sometimes we claim to be religious, and then we act ignorantly. Sometimes we claim to know the law, but we are the ones that are breaking the law or act ignorantly. Sometimes we behave as if we are elites, but it does not portray or show in our character or in our actions or our words. That's why I am cautioning that please set the agenda. Don't wait for us. If you wait for us, it's all right. Whatever you get, you take it. The issue of the campees, and what have you, FFK and what have you. FFK is my brother, is our brother. He's a Nigerian. He is free under the Constitution to belong to one association or another at any point in time. The way and manner he has joined APC is the same way we have our other brothers that have joined in their numbers. And more are still coming. You need to sit down and understand this game. Nobody goes to school to learn politics. All you need to do is just sit down, watch, observe. Look, every day I analyze every leader that we have in this country. I look into their past antecedents. I look at what they're doing currently, and I can tell you what they will do tomorrow. And sometimes you take words out of my mouth when you should allow me to remain in my shell. So that is why you see a lot sometimes if I say, you ask me what's going to happen tomorrow, I say, but based on what I have observed though, it's likely this will happen. It will happen and I will call that, you will refer to me as, well, only God knows who. My dear brother, the Folashade Absalom, my dear sister, yes. I have touched on the issue of youth and unemployment. But let me commend Mr. President and all of his policies and those that are implementing these policies, especially as far as the various SIPs, social intervention programs of the President. I think what Mr. President has done, no any administration has ever done it in this country, in terms of direct intervention for youths, women, farmers, traders, technicians, and what have you. I will only urge the information outlet of the federal government to come out more and bring out those facts. Just like if you go to our website today, we told you that 20 billion, this is bailout fund, this is how we utilize it. You go to our loan account, how we took it from that account to various other accounts, and from there to various beneficiaries' accounts. That is a fact, is that not so? I'm urging the Ministry of Information especially to come out with some of those facts so that you see the multitude of Nigerian youths and those below the poverty that has been risen by this administration. You see the rot, the decay, is to use Honorable Patrick Abayabo's word, the rot is gargantuan. It's so gargantuan that you can't, I mean, it is unimaginable. But I know that there are one or two things that can be done, and we will have a very huge leap from where we are today. So, what I will simply urge Nigerian youth is that unemployment is not a certificate or a recipe for crime or criminality. Today, I will say categorically that I don't buy foodstuff again from the farm, from the market. My families are feeding from my farm. Yes. In fact, raising up, don't say it because you are a governor, your own is mechanized, or you are a big man, yours is mechanized, and what have you. No. Even raising up them in the village. I don't know when we ever go to the market to buy yam, cassava, maize, corn, and some other ingredients. I tell you, I know how to prepare dawa. Yes. I can't rule out politics. But, like I said, not everything we do to secure our people, I come to the media to say. Ever since the jailbreak, I can tell you that we have gotten some of the perpetrators, not just the detainees or the inmates that returned, or that we return back to we capture and return back to the cell, but the perpetrators, the masterminders, we have captured some of them as we speak. I thank the police, the DSS, the army, the navy, and the local vigilante in Kogi State. They are superb, they are superlative, they are excellent. So, but we are going to trace it to all those who hire them to come and do that kind of dastard act. And I can assure you we will neutralize them. Having said that, I can assure you that peace and security will be restored back to that part of the state. It's been long restored. But I had to read Riot Act to the officials from that enclave. I read Riot Act to the traditional rulers, to the youth leaders, and other community leaders from that particular area. The next thing something happened, heads will roll. That's one. Secondly, for every one single unfortunate incident that is reported or that happens, we would have foiled nothing less than 100 of similar in Kogi State, unannounced. Fighting security is not in the media. But just make sure that everywhere is peaceful and secured. For every one single one that unfortunately happened, we would have neutralized more than 100 that would have happened and give us bad name. Just about 24 hours ago, our Nigerian Army, police, and vigilante, not only in our land, crossed even border to neutralize themselves. But we will not report it in the media. We would rather keep it cool. Those sleeper cells that are coming from Zamfara, from Niger, crossing over to Nasarawa, because our place, there's no place to hibernate. Especially at the border with us. We'll cross over to neutralize them. So we are having the full cooperation and understanding of of all the Nigerian armed forces, including the police. But our vigilantes are gallant. They are ready, they know the terrain, and they provide credible intelligence with which we are fighting crimes and criminality. And thank you for mentioning the peaceful installation of Obarov Kaba, which until now it used to be very chaotic because the people want to live in peace. And we succumb and we agree to that. It is the people that choose to live in peace. I will use the opportunity to address some certain things. Like I said, I listen to everything that happened out there, which has to do with the issue of installation of Ata Igala and some other traditional rulers in the state. Until and unless the people are ready, there's very little you as a leader can do. As we speak today, there are tons upon tons of petition on each and every stool that is vacant today in Kogi State. I am a respecter of the traditional institution. At the same time, I respect everybody's opinion and views. But when people are ready to be at each other's throats, and you know that certain decision you're going to take as a leader will lead to a crisis that you begin to spend the little resources that you have used for developmental projects and programs. You know that lives are going to go, properties are going to be burned down, and what have you. What do? You suspend it. Until they themselves will know that they are undoing themselves. They will not take a decision. Today I'm a governor. Even if I'm from that part of the state, I can't be at Igala. I can't be governor today and at the same time become at Igala. That institution, that tool, is a tool that is so revered, and I respect it so much. I hold it on a very high esteem. If I cannot install Ata Igala peacefully, that will be used to describe me and my administration, just like the way you are using Obarov Kaba to describe our administration now, I will not partake or allow crisis or chaos to be used to describe our administration. So the people, until they are ready, then we'll give the go-ahead. So also other traditional institutions that are vacant today in Kogi State. So thank you for asking that question so that I'll use the opportunity to throw a little light on this. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I sincerely appreciate you.